As we're coming into 2021, we're leaving 2020 hopefully with a sense of I can be more than what the world has told me to be. I can be more than what I've been held down by social mores and social structure and social belief systems, and that I was born on the wrong side of the tracks. I've decided to leave the tracks behind and do my own thing and create my own tracks. So now, full of energy and full of fire. Well, hello there. Hello. Welcome to the Sunday Soul Podcast. My name is Lisa, and you tuned into Heart of Inspiration here at this channel. We help you lead a whole and healed, peaceful, and prosperous life. And we also help you identify, clarify, and prosper in your purpose. And that is really the overall theme of tonight's, I'm going to call it a channeled message. I've been getting some downloads here, beloveds, for a while, especially for it's been pretty intense since December the 21st, since the great conjunction of 2020, Jupiter and Saturn conjunct at 0 degrees Aquarius. That was significant for a lot of reasons, and some of which we touched on in a previous podcast, episode 14, more of which we will touch on in the next few podcasts, I believe. But I want to kind of focus in on some things that I have discovered as I've been studying the number 5, and that's what this message here today is all about, is the meaning of the number 5, or a 5-year. And I arrive at this 5-year from this point of view that 2021, the year we're about to enter into, that is upon us now, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 1 equals what? 5. And 5 is a significant number in various ways. I try to look at the themes of each year as we come into them. Been doing that for years, since I was in the church. And we always had the watch, right, service, where we would gather together and we would be watchful and mindful and prayerful as the new year came in, and typically one of us ministers, someone would, either one or all of us, would give a message that night during all night watch service. And as a prophetess in the church, I would seek the face of the Lord, as we say, to find out what it is that he would have for his people to know. That was the very overtly religious way we would say that. Now it's Mother, Father, Spirit, Great Creator, Beloved, as a unit, as a complete supreme source. What is the significance? What is the energy as we're moving into this year? 2019 was a foundational year, a structural year, for those of us that We're moving into 5D existence a little bit in advance of others, or we were further along on our process, or we were the ones that were going to have to teach and mentor. That was definitely a governmental, let's get in our space as a foundational year. 2020 has been the year of great sight. And although it's been a year of great sight, it's also been a year of great illusion, hasn't it? Of everything is not as it seems. And if you're leaving 2020 without a clear understanding of the sheer fakeness of third dimensional reality, if you're leaving 2020 without the understanding, without the belief, without the clear-cut knowledge that while the third dimensional human experience is meaningful, it is what we came here for, it is a powerful one, it is still, at its very essence, not true reality. If you're leaving 2020 and you still haven't figured out that television programming is telling you what your vision should be and programming it, telling you what you see. And that programming changes. That programming changes one to another, to the next, to the next. That programming gets updated. That programming gets manipulated. One day the programming will say one thing. The next month, when it doesn't suit the same narrative, and we want to change what we see, or they want to change what we see, because seeing is believing, not. But seeing, right, to the third dimensional being, is seeing with our two eyes, is believing, and whatever comes into our eyes goes into our brain and programs our brain on what to think. If you haven't left, if you're not leaving 2020 without that, if you're not leaving 2020 with a clearer understanding that as it is above, so it is below, is not just a saying, but it's truth. And you're not seeing that your spiritual being is more powerful and completely empowered and has control over your physical third dimensional being. If you've not left 2020, understand that you have to be in control of your energy, control of your emotions, because if you allow those that would have us remain in 3D and stay in a status of fear, stay in a status of doubt, of lack, of poverty, and utter control, or being controlled, I should say. If you're not leaving 2020 without the understanding, or with the understanding that that's not what you came here to do. You did not come here to live that life. Then you're going to perhaps need to learn those lessons rather quickly and gain those understandings. If you've not taken the time to be introspective and really understand what is truly important to you and what truly makes you happy, or at least start on that path, we have a lot to talk about. And you're going to have to catch up pretty quick, because 2021 is a 5 year. 5 is known as the number of humanity. We have 5 fingers. We have 5 toes. We have 5 appendages, if you will. 2 hands, 2 feet, 1 head. Attached. 2 arms, right? 2 legs, 1 head attached to a torso. There are 5 major biological systems within our bodies: skeletal, circulatory, nervous, digestive, and skin. With 5 major systems, right, in our body. Your spirit, what is above, is in control of what is below, which is your body, which is your mind. Your mind, actually, sorry guys, Your mind actually, as part of your conscious being and part of your consciousness, controls the body. So the one thing that that's getting programmed all the time. Now let me put this way: your spirit should control your mind. Your mind should then control your body. Your body is supposed to be the last on the rung. So we shouldn't be giving ourselves over to those things that make the body happy, right? Especially those things that are not good for us. Those things that are toxic. And actually what ends up happening is we end up with these toxic thoughts, limiting beliefs that then end up being part of who we are. The meaning of number 5, let me get back to that. The meaning of number 5, right? This being a 5-year. Jupiter, I know, right? This is crazy. Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius. Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius conjunct. Jupiter is the planet of Zeus. It is the planet of the one that decided to have his own agency, to become the ruler of the earth. Okay? Become the ruler of the earth, overtaking the structure of Kronos, overtaking the structure of his father before. That is symbolic in and of itself. Zeus being the one that then ruled humanity and interacted with humanity. Of all of the gods, I will say that Zeus to me was the one that came down the most often off his throne, if we're to believe the stories. Jupiter has also been referenced as symbolic of the Christ, of Jesus. It is symbolic of God meeting man. It is a beautiful, huge, wonderful planet that can be seen with the naked eye. It is full of hope and promise and a better tomorrow. Jupiter overtaking and conjuncting Saturn in Aquarius. Jupiter inviting Saturn to once again remember what it's like to not have to be so structured, to not have to be so rigid, to not have to be so, it's got to be my way in this linear order, but instead see the possibilities and be free to be me, to be yourself, while also becoming part of a collective consciousness, each individual light. Now I put my granddaughter got me this snowman. It's a tea light candle holder. That little individual light, if I were to turn all the rest of these lights off, gives off its own glow. Its own glow. But when you put individual lights all not necessarily on top of one another, but all in an area, what happens? The whole area becomes illuminated. One light can light up a small area. Many lights can light up the world. Jupiter is saying, do you see the possibilities? And Saturn is saying, maybe I can restructure things. The number 5, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 1 equals 5. In numerology, I have a whole bunch of papers out here. You would think I was a mad scientist or a mad numerologist at the very least. The number 5 indicates usually someone who's full of energy. Number 5 is representative of fire. It represents someone full of energy, but typically unable to challenge it, to channel it. So as we're coming into 2021, we're leaving 2020 hopefully with a sense of, I can be more than what the world has told me to be. I can be more than what I've been held down by social mores and social structure and social belief systems, and that I was born on the wrong side of the tracks. I've decided to leave the tracks behind and do my own thing and create my own tracks. So now full of energy and full of fire. 5 is representative of fire as well. But unable to channel it responsibly. In other words, this is a year that, yes, it is time for you to take your own stand, have your own beliefs, have your own personal freedom. However, be careful. Because personal freedom without responsibility, without intention, can be very dangerous. Yes, you have the ability to create anything in this world that you desire. You are the co-creator of your world. You have the right to do so. We have left the time of the Savior. The Savior's left the building. And understand that you possess the divinity within. It was always there. And now we come into remembrance, or as Ralph Smart from Infinite Waters says, the remembering or the re-putting together, the reconnecting of the collective, and each individual member comes back to the collective as its individual. This finger is different from this finger. They have very similar designs on them, but this finger is different from this finger. They're pretty much the same. But if I look at them closely, if you were to look at them closely, there's slight differences. Slight difference in some lines right here at that first knuckle. There's slight differences. Not exactly the same. The fingerprints are going to be different on each one. But they are both members of my body. One is no more important to me than the other. I would miss one just as much as I would miss another. I would miss this as much as I'd miss my pinky. If my pinky toe was gone, my balance would be off. Right? So the key here is to understand that there's personal freedom, yes. Personal energy, yes. Personal agency, yes. And this is all part of that number 5. Becoming human and remembering what being a human truly should mean to you. With all this artificial intelligence, with all of this covering of our faces, with all this oxymoronic social distancing, I'm just saying, it doesn't, you can't socially distance. You're either social or you're distant. That play on words doesn't work. You cannot socially distance. Either you're social or you're distant. So we have to remember that 5 being the number of humanity, this is going to be a pivotal year for us to maintain our humanity. What does it mean to be human? What does it mean to have the hues of a man, the hues, the colors, the aura, the essence of a man, of mankind? We have to remember what it is to be human. We're very, very different from every other creature on this planet. We have a soul, we have a consciousness, we have the ability to speak with in an intelligible way. I'm sure all animals have their language. I'm not denouncing that. But we as humans have something very special. And in this 5 year, after having the 4 year of life purpose, the 2020 year of perfect sight, we should be able to see where our humanity is being put down. Our humanity has been under attack. We don't see smiles. We don't hug. We don't touch. We don't interact in a physical way. So now what we're going to have to do, beloveds, is during this 5 year is now truly begin to understand what it means to be human and how humanity is different from AI, from robots, from any other living creature on this planet. And one of the main ways that it is very different is we actually have free will. You see the birds, the cows, the snakes, the insects, the trees, when they are created, when they come into existence and manifest in this third dimensional realm, they are going to be what they are forever. There is no propensity to change. There is no ability for a robin to then at some point evolve into an eagle. The robin, when the robin comes into the earth, is the robin. It will not change. The eagle, once the eagle is born into the earth, remains the eagle. It will not change either. The human being, though, the human being starts out as a baby, absolutely dependent upon its parents and its caretakers for everything, unable to speak or use language as we know it, unable to do for itself, unable to dress itself and feed itself or go and get its own food or any of this, unable. All it is one, all that baby is one big bundle of love. That's it. And it evolves. The baby evolves to a toddler, to a child, a young child, to a teenager, to an adult, going through all manner of changes physiologically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. We evolve into something completely different in a different form than when we enter into this world. With complete agency to choose our path. Now, there are all sorts of programmings and other things that are deposited within us, and we can choose to stay on that third dimensional programming path, or we can take advantage of this 5 year and take all of this energy and take all of this personal responsibility and take all of this desire for personal freedom, and we can expand. And we can then become something that we were and we knew we were going to be before we incarnated here. Or we can remain under the boot and the foot of the structure of the old age. You see, the 5 year is telling you, beloved, that it is time to take back your power rather than giving it over to others to use. The more we give our power to others to rule over us, the worse off we are. This is why I say we're coming out of the age of the Messiah. We're coming out of the age of the salvation. We're coming out of the age of needing someone or something or an entity or a consciousness or a belief system to then reunite us with our Creator and help us to understand and then grow into our divinity, to take our place in divinity. The 5 years says you are who you are, that you are divinity. The 5 year says you need to adapt, you need to grow, you need to evolve. The 5 year gives you a sense of independence. The 5 year is a great desire to change that must be tempered with the wisdom to know how quickly and how to do so. That's what the 5 year is all about. You know, we have the 5 of Wands. We have the 5 of Wands in the tarot. And that 5 of Wands, when I look at it differently now, it is a person defending themselves. But who are they defending themselves against? It's as if that person is fighting for their independence. And then we get 6 of Wands victory. and Seven of Wands defending our position, right? The Five of Swords is gaining an independent set of thoughts. They vanquish their opponent and take everything, and they take all the swords, they take all the hurtful words, they take all the limiting beliefs, they take all of the constraining thoughts, and they throw all that down. They don't need that. Because then what is the Six of Wands? I'm leaving all that stuff behind. I'm going on to something new. I've conquered all of that and I'm going on to something new. What is the Five of Cups? Typically there's what? 3 cups up and 2 cups down. You're crying over spilled milk. Because then next, the Six of Cups is the nostalgia, the family, the reunification. Here it is, there's been then people or what have you that have left and it's been difficult and whatnot. That 5, yes? But then you realize when you take your head out of your hands and you look back on your life, it might not quite have been just as bad as you thought, right? So you're coming into this understanding of who you were and what it meant, and now who you can become, because the Seven of Cups is in choices. So I'm overwhelmed because I'm losing some things and it just doesn't make sense, and these things were so important to me and it's overwhelming because I'm going through these changes. And the Six of Cups, you kind of look it over and you say, okay. And the Seven of Cups, you say, but you know what? I've got the future ahead of me. And the Eight of Cups, you walk away from all those things that don't serve you. This is when we start at the 5 year. The Five of Pentacles, this begging, hat in hand, wanting someone to give us something, a leg up or what have you. You're outside of this, religious structure. Usually on most cards, it's some sort of religious structure. So you're outside of the norm and it feels pretty darn alone. Guess what? In this 5 year, you're going to be outside of the structures, and you should be outside of the structures. In fact, the structures are going to be crumbling all around us. And those that want to hold on to all of that old stuff, it's not going to look the same, because the structure as it is, I believe, is getting ready to be used for New World Order in a inhumane way. We have to hold on to our humanity and what makes us human. What makes us human is our level of agency, our ability to be active co-creators of our future. Active co-creators of our future. That gives us this level up and this difference, this differentiation between us and the rest of creation on this earth. We are able to move to the 5D. Gaia and everything and every creature that she holds can't really move and ascend up and raise her frequency until we as humanity raise ours. So this concept of independence and personal freedom, this idea of what does it really mean to be human. 5 is the prevailing number in nature. It symbolizes fire and the stigmata, which is this kind of, right, where the wounds of Christ appear in the palms of one's hands. And that gives this sense of either holiness or heresy, one of the two. But this is the stigmata is divine markings in a human being's palms. It is a revelation of our own divinity. It is unconventional. It is individual. It is seeking new experiences, right? Seeking new experiences to find fulfillment. 2021 is the year that you seek out and find your fulfillment, if you're paying attention and if you're not getting programmed by the television. You're not getting programmed by the television. You're not getting, you're not entering into the container through entertainment, right? And you're not believing the set of consequences because you've been conned into believing that there's a sequence of events that will happen if you stray from the norm too far. If you go out on that limb, you've been conned into believing that the sequence of events, if you tap into this new age, is that somehow you are not going to then be reunified with Creator. When in actuality, you've never actually been separated. You just forgot how to talk to Creator. You just forgot what it was like to consistently walk in the cool of the evening and the dew of the morning with Creator. You forgot what it was like to have the communication with Creator on a constant and consistent basis because all of the other crap started coming in and piling up and interfering and lowering your vibration to this vibration of fear and trembling. Let every man work out his or her salvation with fear and trembling. I'm not working my salvation out with fear and trembling. I'm not. I have worked out my reunification with my Creator. And it wasn't by fear. It was by love. It was by forgiving myself. It was by taking on my own free will and saying I'm not giving it up. Number 5 is the number of sensuality. I'm going to encourage you that your 6th and 7th and 8th senses, like we got 5 senses, right? Humanity, 5 senses. But I'm telling you, you have a 6th. And that's that energetic auric sense. Get your chakras cleared out, unblocked, aligned. Start tapping into your 6th sense. The number 5 has the sense of 360-degree sight. It's full. It can see in front of itself, behind itself, on either side of itself. It's looking at the totality of everything around it and taking it in. In this humanity, don't just look at what's right in front of you. I need you in 2021 to look at what's above and below and all around you. Because your future is not what's right in front of you. It's what you can bring down from the heavens in 2021. It's what you can bring down from the heavens in 2021. Now, I'm not going to be here long. I wanted to discuss a little bit with you about the Hierophant. Because the Hierophant is the 5th card. It's the 5th of the major arcana in the tarot. And a lot's been said about the Hierophant. But I want you to embody that Hierophant in 2021. The Hierophant is all about advice and learning and wisdom teaching. It's about established religion. It's about inner learning and intuition, intelligence, power, and protection, morality, tradition, orthodoxy, organizations and establishments, religious bodies, corporations, conventionality, captivity, servitude, marriage, alliance, commitments, school, blessings, rituals, marriage, and acting. Interestingly enough, it also used to be signify not only Taurus but Aries as well. When we look at the Hierophant, the planets that rule it, by the way, are Jupiter and Mars. If I'm looking at this in and of itself, the Hierophant is this amazing human dichotomy of everything creative and then this need for establishment and structure. 2021 is challenging you to create your own structure. This is when the established religions and structures fall away and the individual truly understands who they are and becomes part of the collective, an active functioning part of the collective, not just waiting for somebody else to help you along the way, but you're part of it. The Hierophant. The Hierophant represents creativity and intellect all at the same time. The Hierophant represents faith, faith in oneself, right? Faith in humanity, faith in the Creator. The Hierophant is he himself teaching. Are you the Hierophant? Are you walking? Are you raising yourself up to be the teacher? Are you planning on remaining the student? 2021 is asking, we need more of you to be the teacher. We need more light workers. We need starseed activations. We need you to step into your purpose and help the next. We need you to step into your purpose and help bring people to healing. We need you to step into purpose and help those that are coming after you and just learning what it's like, and their eyes are finally being opened during this great awakening. This is what humanity is waking up to, who they really are. We need you. Desperately need you. The Master of the Hierophant. Studied this card a little bit. The Master of the Hierophant. The ruling master is Master Serapis Bey. The Master Serapis Bey encourages and stimulates creative ideas, thoughts to those involved in architectural, artistic, musical, and theatrical fields. His energy motivates one to express their creativity. Get your sacral chakra in order and let's get it moving. Get your sacral chakra in order and let's get it moving. What is the fifth chakra? Your throat. Speak. Speak up. Speak up for your own agency. Speak up for your own creativity. Speak up. Speak up. Speak for your own personal rights. You don't have to buy into what everyone's told you had to. You don't have to live that life. Master Serapis Bey dispenses energies to those who work harmoniously with nature and the healing of the Earth's environment. Master Serapis Bey helps those who are spiritually intoned to nature. Are you tuned into Gaia? Are you tuned into what's going on? Because how mankind goes is how the rest of the world goes. Either we're gonna ascend, or all is lost. Master Serapis Bey encourages sensitivities who find difficulty or conflict with their masculine and feminine gender to be true to themselves regardless of what others may think or say. He works with the energy of the fourth ray, and helps to influence and aid in the expansion of mental activity. In the tree of life, the pathway 5 connects Seraphia, or spirit, wisdom, Seraphia, wisdom, to beauty. Connects the two, wisdom to beauty. Higher wisdom to beauty. Create your beautiful world in 2021. The meaning of the 5 year. This is the year you find your independence. This is the year you figure out, holy cats, this is really who I wish to be. This is really who I am. And as I step into that, I am then able to be an amazing asset to the world and to spirit. Absolutely amazing. I take my rightful place in the collective and assist man and womankind as we grow. The number 5 year is the year for you to make the change, is the year for you to step up to the plate. It's the year for you to be part of the 1%. That's the 1% that's going up to the fifth dimension and living there, and will raise the vibrational set point of this entire earth. We're calling on you. Thanks for joining. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. Go to heartofinspiration.net and sign up today for the Be the Light virtual retreat that's happening on January 15th and 17th. Tickets are just $297 for this virtual retreat. And beloved, if you're ready to step up into purpose, if you're ready to rock and roll and lock and load, I need you to drop a comment down below on YouTube, DM me on Facebook, or send me an email, info@lightworkeracademy.net, so that you and I can discuss becoming part of the masterclass, become part of that 1% of light workers that are answering the call, going through the intense 8-week masterclass course, identifying, clarifying, and then launching into their purpose so they can prosper in their purpose. Be part of that 1%. I can't wait to work with you. Peace, love, blessings, and joy be unto you today, tomorrow, and for all eternity. I love you. Namaste.